Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Torey and today we are setting up my June bullet journal. I am still using my B6 Archer and Olive notebook, and I have a couple of colors pulled out here from Tombow, the 803. I am also going to be using a yellow of 062 and then a very light pink of 910, and I will have those listed out in the description box for you as well. I will also be using a Zig clean color dot marker in the color Summer Sun, and then I will be using a Pigma Micron in the size 005 and my Tombow Furunosuke calligraphy pen. Thankfully for this setup, I actually only stuck to these supplies. I didn't have to grab any additional supplies that I forgot about, so I was actually quite proud of myself for that. For my theme this month, I am going to be doing a Firefly theme, but before we jump into that, I just wanted to flip through my May setup really quickly just to show you how it's looking filled in. So the reason I chose a Firefly theme for June is because YouTube has been just shoving the Firefly video that Joshi Korin or Jess did. I think it was a couple of years ago in June, and I loved it. It's just been on my feed every single day. I swear I see this video almost every single day, and I will link that in the description box for you below so that you can check it out because it is an excellent video. And I did watch it, obviously, and it's still being fed to me. I don't know why, but I did watch it. And I just was really inspired to do a Firefly theme myself. So that's what we're doing. Like I said, I will have that video linked below for you in the description if you're interested in checking it out. It's not super, like, I didn't follow her theme exactly because I wanted mine to be a little bit more of a sketchy or doodly theme because I didn't want to think too hard this month. So I am just doing some scribbly looking fireflies, which is literally just several like loops next to each other. And I'm just putting my dot marker just over the firefly butt to make it look like it's glowing. And you can see like a little bit closer up images on my Instagram if you're interested in seeing a little bit closer up of that, but I feel like it worked out quite well. I didn't only want to use yellow, so I chose a couple of my pink Tombow markers. I'm primarily going to be sticking to this very light shade of pink, but I will be using the darker shade of pink as kind of an accent to this. I also tried doing my dots a little bit too quickly here, so I am going to end up smearing some of my black ink a little bit and then just going back and adding the extra ones first, the extra dots. So in between my fireflies here, I am adding a bunch of just extra little dots. And then to kind of accentuate the fact that they're fireflies, I am going to kind of do scribbly like circles around with my Tombow yellow marker and then come back in with the fine point of the dot marker, the Zig dot marker, and scribble again inside of that. So it's a little bit darker and kind of gives those dots a little bit of variation. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of the darker pink to my June header, just as a little bit of an accent. So for my headers, what I am doing is using the light pink Tombow marker, and I am just in all caps writing out what my header is saying. And then I'm going over the top half of what I wrote with the Tombow marker again, just to darken up that top half and give it a little bit of an ombre look. And then after I finish those two pieces of it, I will come in with the darker pink and just add kind of like little accent lines on top of each letter, just little lines and a dot or so. And then I will come over that all caps writing with my Furunosuke pen and just do a little bit of calligraphy that says the exact same thing as what I wrote in all caps. So as you can see here, I have this month. And I have that in all caps, and then I have it in a calligraphy font right above that as well. This is one of my favorite like type styles to do whenever I am doing just anything really. I use this a lot in my daily journal to kind of separate my headings out, and I just love it. So for my calendar page this month, which is what we're working on, obviously, I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently. This one is actually going to be different from any one that I've done so far this year. I've done one calendar, I've done 2 calendars, but for this month, I am doing one full calendar, and then I'm going to be doing kind of like the original BUJO method calendar, where it's just a list with all of the dates. And I'm going to be using that for all of my content this month. And I'm very curious to see how this works for me. And to be completely honest, the reason that I chose to do that this way this month is because Saturday and Sunday start the month, and Saturday and Sunday also end the month. And I knew that I would want to highlight the rows of Saturday and Sunday with a different color. And it just worked out quite perfectly, because I would be highlighting the first 2 rows and then the very last 2 rows of the month as well. So it looks so pleasing to me, at least, whenever I get to that point. So I did pre-sketch all of this stuff out like I normally do, but on this page I felt like I was missing a little bit, so I'm going to come back at the end here once I'm getting closer to finished with this page, and I'm going to just add some additional fireflies around the bottom of the calendar to have them look like they're wrapping around the calendar completely. So here I am just going in and I'm highlighting all Saturday and Sundays for the month. The biggest hang up I have with this method of calendar is that I can't visually see where Saturday and Sunday are, or any of the days of the week are really. So I'm a little bit worried that will be confusing for my brain. I'm not even sure how to describe that, but I'm a little bit worried about that. And I also came back in after I finished filming completely, and I also highlighted every Tuesday in a yellow color, just because the days that I try to upload are Tuesdays and Saturdays, and I can pretty easily see where Saturday is since I've highlighted Saturday and Sunday, but I can't easily see where Tuesday is. So I also highlighted Tuesday, but I highlighted that in yellow to kind of give me an indicator that is my weekday upload. And then I'm just getting some of these final little fireflies added to wrap around my calendar, and we will move right along to my next page. So this is going to be my orders and my currently page. Once again, something that I do every month. I am going to just do the first letter of each of these titles so that I can erase the pencil sketching that I have here, because I despise using the Tombow markers over pencil, because I feel like the pencil doesn't ever fully erase when I do that. And I did that at the beginning for my June header for my cover page, and I can still see the pencil through it. So when I was erasing that, I was like, oh no, we're not doing that again. So I just kind of did the very first letter and then erased everything and finished the word, so that way I knew it would sit where I had originally planned for it to sit. You'll notice throughout this setup that I never fully complete my headers, and I don't know why, but on my this month page, I don't think I added in any of the dark pink. This one I think I did. I think this is the only header that I actually completed in fullness, and I think my June one, but all of the other ones I never fully finished. Either I didn't do the ombre look, or I didn't do the dark pink lines on it, or I don't know what was going on, but I ended up having to fix some of them after I finished filming. And you'll see that if you hop over to my Instagram for the little post that I'll make to correlate with this video. I've got all of the finished pictures kind of over there if you want to check that out. For this month, or for this spread here that I'm doing, I had originally planned to just have a huge flurry of fireflies going up from the bottom right hand portion of the page and then spreading all the way across. so that it would kind of look like they were flying across the page. Now, doing this, I didn't really like the way that the finished page looked, and I think it's because the page itself, as you'll see once I get closer to the end of this one, it's like separated. Like all of the pinks are at the top and all of the yellow is at the bottom, and it doesn't really look like super incorporated with each other. And I'll add a yellow line underneath both of my headers a little bit later once I get finished coloring these in, but that's still like, it didn't do it for me, I guess. So a little bit later on, I think when I come in and I'm doing like my erasings, because I do film that, I just cut it out because like, I'm sure you don't want to see me erasing all my pencil lines. I will come back in and add some of the fireflies across the top as well. And I think that really, really helps the total look of this page. I also didn't really consider that I would be adding my reading, watching, and playing like little mini headers to that page as well. So I'll have some additional yellow lines probably throughout the month of June. And I think that will help bring everything together as well. But as of right now, we are moving on to my moods and habits page. And this month, I'm going to mimic the exact same way that I did this spread for the month of May. And this spread in this format really worked like super well for me, I feel like. I love decorative mood trackers, but find that I often just don't want to fill it in when I'm like in the thick of the month and like forgetting what's happening, or not checking in with my journal every single day. Like it's a lot to try and remember. Whereas if I just have to come in here and do like a little dot, it's so much easier for me to remember to just do my dot than it is for me to remember like what stamp I used or what color I needed to use. Anything like that. I'm not sure. I spelled habits wrong. So I flipped to the back of my journal and I pulled out a piece of paper. Then I glued it down on the wrong spot. So here I am pulling it back up again and actually placing it over that incorrect S that shouldn't be there and finishing out my word. You can kind of tell in person that I fixed it, but on camera, like it's pretty unnoticeable. But it doesn't bother me at all. I just thought it was really funny that like I went through all of this to fix it and then ended up placing my paper down in the wrong spot. So that was funny to me. My habits and moods that I will be tracking for this month are going to be exactly the same as I have been tracking for the past, I don't know, like 3 months. I am tracking taking my long-acting insulin, my reading, that I come into my bullet journal, and then I am tracking if I did not spend any money, which, to be fair, I don't think that these are considered like habits. I'm not even sure, honestly. These are things that I want to make sure that I do every day, and I often forget if I actually did the thing. So like my insulin, like I can't be taking that multiple times a day, obviously. So I like to be able to mark off that I actually did it already, so that I don't forget and end up taking it multiple times a day. And then for my reading, I just like to keep track of my daily reading because I do also mark that off in my reading journal. And then for the bullet journal and the zero spend or no spend, that's just things that I would like to do. And I like to track how often that I'm coming in and actually doing them or completing it each month. So I don't know if you would consider these habits. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below if these are something that you would consider a habit. I thought about changing this to like accountability or something like that, like my accountability spread, but that's a really long word. Which is, it seems silly, but like it's a long word and I'm using a B6 and I feel like that word would be really difficult for me to decoratively make a header out of. I don't know. So this is working out. I know it's not technically habits or whatever. And then I'm tracking all of my 8 different moods, because if I try to lessen the amount of moods that I'm tracking, I always end up being upset that I don't have a specific mood that I was feeling in here. And these seem to be the 8 that I tend to gravitate towards, which are happy, okay, productive, tired, ill, nothing, sad, and angry. And some of these I don't fill in as often, but I do like to know if I've got those days happening. And for this month, because these are almost, I think I added one more from last month. For this month, I did place them in order from like the best possible mood to like the lesser moods, so that I can actually see in my little kind of bar graph or line graph that I've got here, like the fluctuation in my actual moods. Last month, I didn't order them out like that. I ordered them based on like the length of the word, which whatever, that's fine too. But yeah. So I am adding back in those fireflies towards the top of my orders and currently page, and you can see here that it does make a big difference. It definitely kind of incorporates that pink into my actual spread, and I really love the way that that looks. And I think that's it. I think I'm done here. Yeah. So we will flip back through here and do a bit of a final flip through. I would love to know in the comments below what your thoughts are on this theme and what your favorite page is. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!